says, in all of his days of his flesh, as he was on the earth, all he done was pray and cry. Pray and cry for his death that's ahead of him. And tears. Hey, Pat, praise and tears. There was praise and he cried for the day to come. While he was in his flesh, the Bible says he prayed and he cried. No wonder after 4 days, as Martha and Mary says, where have you been? If you were here, he wouldn't have died. Jesus has an understanding. He has to die because I'm the resurrection and the life. And what I'm doing through him is it's the same thing I'm going to be doing. So he had to die and represent 4,000 years. So on the fourth day, he comes on time, at the right place, the right person. And the Bible says, the shortest verse we see, Jesus wept. 2 words for the shortest verse in the Bible. Jesus wept. It was him understanding that I'm praying and I'm crying for death. I am praying and I'm crying. Jesus wept and he's resurrected. Jesus says, I'm the resurrection and I'm the life. But what we get to understand is he prayed and he cried. Oh, there was prayers and there was tears. He prayed and he cried for something that's still going to happen. So that God will not save him from it happening, but to save him from it. I have to die, but Lord, I pray and I cry. And in Gethsemane, blood comes of sweat because he prayed and he cried. Oh, I'm here to tell you, for you to get out of your situation and have a resurrection, you're going to pray and you're going to cry. If there's anything worth praying and crying, I'm here to encourage you, keep doing it, because resurrection is on the way. Keep praying and keep crying. He hears my cry. The psalmist says, hear my humble cry. He's praying and he's crying. He's praying and he's crying all the days in his flesh. He has been praying and crying for the day that he will die. You know why people don't get answered prayer? Because they're not praying and they're not crying. Yeah. You're not praying and you're not crying. Because if you pray and cry, there's gonna be a resurrection. Because it comes from the inside. And now regeneration, God doing it in you, will lift you up. So some things you have to pray and you have to cry for you to overcome it. It will not happen if you don't pray and you don't cry. No matter what it is, no matter where you are, you're going to have to pray and you're going to have to cry. I prayed and said, Lord, if you have your will in my life, let it be so. Lord, you've called me, you've appointed me, let it be so. And if it's going to take praying and if it's going to take tears, I'm not going to stop now. I'm going to take all my water out of my body. I'm going to cry before you and in you and through you. I'm going to pray and I'm going to cry till it happens. I'm going to pray and I'm going to cry. He says, watch. He says in Garden of Gethsemane, while I pray, you watch and they sleep. He comes back and say, pray and watch and they sleep. He comes and says, how can you be sleeping in this hour? In this hour, I'm involving you in my prayers and my crying and you are sleeping. He says, you cannot be sleeping because what I'm doing and what I'm about to do, if you knew what I'm going through right now, it's praying and crying. It's praying and crying. My marriage, I am praying and I'm crying for my own life. I'm praying and I'm crying for my future. I am praying. Tell you, we are praying and we are crying. We are following Jesus. He prayed and he cried. He prayed and he cried. And even though it seems dead, he prayed and he cried. And then we saw resurrection. I might be here and you might be here and you have death in your life. A dead marriage. Your life is dead. Your heart is dead. Your mind is dead. But I'm here to tell you, don't stop praying and don't stop crying, because resurrection is on the way. Don't stop praying and don't stop crying. You will make it. You must make it, because you're a child of God. He loves you. He died for you. He resurrected for you. And he is praying and he is crying. The Bible says he's our intercessor. intercessor in heaven seated above everything else. He intercedes for you and I. In heaven there's no tears. He's no more crying, but he's still praying. So I'm going to continue praying. I'm going to pray and cry. I'm going to pray and laugh. I'm going to pray and walk. But praying, I will be praying. I'll pray every day, even though it doesn't seem alive and nothing's happening. But praying, I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray. I'm going to pray to Jesus.